Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy 2017.
New year, new me.
New year, new us.
Uh-huh.
Not really.
New year.
We're back with the same old football.
Amazing, average, mediocre quality.
Everything else that you love. We amateurs, and it's the best.
We are the spectators.
We are the spectators.
And
I'm
welcome
Julian
back.
Alejandro.
I'm Alejandro. Welcome back to another episode.
And today...
New episode for the new year.
We're a few days into the new year now. And we were given the beautiful and tasty treats of this weekend in college football. And all the bowl games, and a lot of them were awesome.
NFL was a
cool
little bit in there. Yeah,
a little bit of NFL on Sunday, but a lot of the stuff we already knew. Well, we got some really good college football in this weekend. We got to see FSU and Michigan, which was...
What a game.
A really crazy game. A blocked... Extra point that led to two that actually wound up leading to nothing because Michigan couldn't move the ball to save their life.
And FSU's win was one of many ACC wins in this bowl game season. I believe they were 6-2 after that FSU game. And USF showed up also.
Yeah, USF got to beat SEC former powerhouse in South Carolina. Bad. And the SEC, especially the East, saved the Florida win in the Outback Bowl, which
dismantling. Also.
Yeah, which they killed Iowa, which it took a while. That was a defensive battle till the end. Besides that, the SEC and besides Alabama, which we'll get to in a minute, SEC is kind of limping along, and they're riding the. Also LSU versus Louisville. LSU looked really good. They shut down.
Louisville was awful.
They shut down.
That was your Heisman pick right there, guys.
Hey, it was. I'm a firm believer, and this was not his fault. The O-line was playing so bad, and then a receiver was not open almost all game. And then when they were, for anybody who watched that game, there were so many drops, and it was just devastating to watch. Every time you finally got to an open receiver and it was a good pass, they just drop it and drop. Oh, that was tough to watch. Poor, whatever his name is. Poor Heisman winner.
Lamar Jackson. Come on now, Lamar Jackson.
Poor Lamar.
But he's coming back. He has another year.
Yeah, he got another year, and he got to be the Heisman favorite coming into next year. I can't see anybody
But he
else.
still has to show that he can win the games, man. He had 3 losses.
To end the season.
Fourth with his last bowl loss.
Yeah, it was not a good end to the Cinderella story of him. But
I understand Heisman. I'm glad that Heisman at least goes to the best player. But you also need a Heisman winner that can show up for the team and get the team somewhere.
But it's also a Louisville team, which is not necessarily a team we expected the world out of this year. And they're not really the most talented team, and you'll start to see them get a little bit more talented with better recruiting now that they had such huge success in the last recent years with Lamar Jackson and Teddy Bridgewater before him. But the big games of the weekend. Alabama and Washington.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. We knew it was going to happen. Everybody knew. If you bet on Washington, you were just trying to make that money.
You weren't stupid, though.
You weren't stupid, but you were just trying to make that money.
Yeah. It wasn't a bad pick.
This wasn't an Alabama playing, I don't know.
Alabama played
Syracuse,
soft.
But
Alabama played soft.
Hey, that offense isn't good. I'm trying to
Defense scoring points as always, no surprise.
They have 15. 15 defensive touchdowns for Alabama. 15. The next closest team is at 7. That's 8 more.
Mm-hmm.
They're more than double the next team.
And Alabama's offense looked shaky that first quarter.
But besides
then
good running, just wear them down drive that they had, and then a 70-yard run. Besides those two plays,
Washington defense showed up.
That Washington
defense was still in Washington.
Yeah, they got jet lagged.
The first drive stalled. Second one, touchdown.
Nice drive.
I thought, Alabama's gonna have.
The third drive was even a nice drive, and then their star receiver and John Ross coughs it up. Off that cough up, Alabama scores, and now the whole game is like, whoa.
Momentum gone.
Whoa.
All momentum.
Whoa. Yeah, that one play, Washington just couldn't recover from it.
And then Ohio State Clemson, your prime time.
I'm not sure if we can call that a game. Should we call that a game?
That was...
Practice squad versus...
They brought in their second string in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it was
The second string, the backup quarterback for Clemson, almost had the same amount of yards as the as running yards as Ohio State had in this either third quarter or the second half completely. One of those two. But
man.
he ran for like 20 something yards.
It was just it was such a foreign feeling to. I don't remember the last time I've ever seen an Ohio State team look so
And it's not the defense either.
mediocre.
The defense was good.
Yeah,
they got picks. They
were
got two,
they were
three
holding
picks.
Clemson. The problem was the offense couldn't do anything, and
Offense did not. Put this in your mind. This is how bad the offense played. They had 4 drives start on the Clemson territory.
0 points.
0 points. 0. The first one was the very first offensive play for the Tigers. Deshaun Watson threw a pick. Very first play. They had the ball, I believe, at the Clemson 40-ish or 38, something like that. Pick. They go, get stalled, because that Clemson defense, it was like good defense. Yeah, good defense. They didn't give up. Field goal try, missed. Then Clemson gets the ball after the missed field goal, drives down the field, touchdown. Or field goal, I believe. Field goal.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the kickoff, the very next kickoff, Clemson kicks it off, and this man returns it. He was almost gone. He got tangled up somehow in there, and he got tripped or something like that, but he was almost gone. And he was stopped at the, Clemson 43, 44, something around there. And then they got a few yards, got a first down, field goal, no good.
And then after that, it was just.
And then after that, they had nothing.
They couldn't even kick another field goal and miss.
They couldn't get in field goal range. And once they did, something would happen and they would get knocked out. Sack here, sack there. Because there was 2 more tries where they got into Clemson territory, and then the sacks drove them out of field goal range, or maybe potentially field goal range, but you can't trust your kicker at this point.
Yeah.
And then Deshaun Watson went off.
And that's this part of the thing was the Ohio State offense was so bad that their defense was on the field for so much of the game that no matter how well they played, they were going to let up points because they were just.
They're exhausted.
Yeah, they were exhausted. They were getting ground.
You can be good, but once you get tired, you're tired.
And you can't be tired when you play a talent like Deshaun Watson, when he has the weapons that he does, and Wayne Gallman, and he has Mike Williams, and these are just really, really just the best offense in college football, I think. And you can't be tired against them.
Yep.
You gotta have some sort of way to keep them off the field, whether that be slow drives or.
And then Ohio State had a lot of turnovers too. That kind of killed any momentum they had.
That they tried to get.
I remember T.J. Barrett. It was
JT.
JT Barrett. This was one of the possessions when they were in Clemson territory. Potential field goal range. Obviously, they're going for a touchdown because I believe they were at the 20. They got a sack, a holding penalty, 4th and 27, and the first down was at the 6-yard line. I believe they're at the 33-yard line, something like that. 4th and 27. He just threw it up, kind of Hail Mary style, picked off, and then this is the worst part. This is the insult to injury. He picks it off in the end zone, and then this man runs 82 yards back. He got stopped at the 12. It wasn't a touchdown, but still, this man went off. So, and then that led to.
And that was already when the game was kind of.
It was 24-0, and then that led to the final touchdown of the game.
That was just the real nail. I mean, it was already over, but.
But that was it.
If you weren't deflated enough.
Because with 24-0, you're down. It's like, okay, you got to drive, touchdown, even though it might not help. At least it gets some sort of momentum.
Something.
Anything, just more than you had all game. But then just a pick that returned 82 yards.
Leading to another touchdown.
Yeah, leading to another touchdown. It was just bad.
It was tough. And so now that those 2 dominating performances from each side, Alabama and Clemson, leads us and brings us to what college football needed, what it wanted, what the fans wanted.
Revenge.
The rematch of last season.
Mm-hmm. Last season. That was a great game.
That national championship was one of the best.
I still stick to this, that the reason Alabama won, I'm sticking with it. This is literally the reason why they won, was that surprise onside kick.
Mm-hmm.
That was the reason they won. If you don't at me on that, because I believe they were up. They scored and they were up, I'm going to say 3. So Clemson was about to get the ball back. And Clemson down by 3. Come on now. That's nothing.
Yeah. One scored.
Yeah, one scored. A lot of time left. And then they do the surprise onside, and they got it. And that led to a touchdown. And then after that, it just... One possession is basically nothing, but two in a national championship
Alabama.
in the fourth quarter is rough to come back. And Deshaun Watson still came back. They only lost by 4.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson just really, really...
Very last
well
drive, they knew they
last
lost, but he went down and got a touchdown anyways. 44-40. And that game was 24-21 at the beginning of the fourth quarter. They scored, 40-something points?
And that's very Alabama-esque. They score a lot in the
But this
fourth quarter.
This year, I feel like the offenses aren't the same caliber. The defenses are really good. So it's just, I feel like it's whoever holds out the longest, defense-wise.
And I feel like Alabama has the better defense. I don't think anybody would question
Alabama has the better defense.
But Clemson's offense is so much more effective than Alabama's that they can there's a potential that they can find all the cracks that Alabama doesn't give anybody, but they do, but the other teams aren't good enough to find them. Clemson's good enough to find those, and Alabama I don't think is good enough to find them in Clemson's defense. Alabama really found 2 cracks in Washington.
And the offensive side of the ball for Alabama, that quarterback's a freshman. It doesn't matter. He's a great quarterback. This kid's going to have a great future. Mm-hmm. But he is a freshman quarterback. He has played big games, yes. He has won them, yes. But this is a national championship game. You know he's going to be nervous. Something's going to happen, and he might choke under pressure. I feel like the keys to the game is going to be how Alabama's quarterback performs, Deshaun Watson, and turnovers. Because Clemson, they're good, but they're known for turnovers, especially Deshaun Watson. He likes to throw his picks. And Alabama loves to return them for 6. Any turnover for Alabama is a return. So it's going to be...
If Clemson can prevent
scores
off turnovers.
Yeah.
They can turn it over.
But they can't score.
They can't give up scores.
But you don't want a turnover, though. And then also, defensive-wise, Alabama is the better one, but whoever holds out the longest. Because if Alabama's offense keeps getting off the field, it doesn't matter how good of an defense you are, you're going to get tired.
You'll be tired.
You're going to be, especially with an offense that fast, that they move, and you're no substitutions that much. And I believe, I don't know if I'm wrong on this, or right on this, but Alabama doesn't have much depth, defensive-wise.
No, their front four... is their front four, which is rare for them. They normally have 5, 6, 7 guys that they rotate in, and that's why Alabama's so good, because not only are they all good, but now their fourth guy on the bench is still better than your
offensive line,
your starting unit.
Mm-hmm. So they're not that
this year. They're thin on depth this year on the defensive side.
So if something happens, or not even something, if they just get tired, they could get run over, because the defense might be a little better than the offensive line, but once you get tired, the pushing gets harder, the shoving gets harder, tackling becomes harder, and if you miss tackles,
these guys are too quick.
Yeah, too quick. You have one chance. If you miss it, you're done.
Who do you think wins this game?
I think here's some reasons why I think Clemson will win this game. First of all, revenge is a big factor. Mm-hmm. Don't tell me revenge is not a big factor, because it is.
It's essentially the same team.
Same team. Last year, they came in. Alabama was a great team, but you have your hopes of winning.
Clemson was confident.
They were confident, and they almost won. They feel like they should have won. So now they're going to come back with revenge. Some of them are angry, seeking revenge. They want that revenge. Also,
and they know they can compete with an Alabama team.
And also, even though Alabama did good against Washington, that was the defense. Offense didn't really show much except for that big play at the end with the 70-yarder, I believe. So I feel like Clemson's offense is just better than Alabama's to get the last push in. Because would you prefer Deshaun Watson on a game-winning drive or the Alabama quarterback on a game-winning drive against Clemson's defense?
Yeah. I'll take my chances with Deshaun Watson at the helm as opposed to anybody else in the country, but especially Jalen Hurts, although he's, as you said, a really talented kid. True freshman, never played in the national championship. He's playing with guys who have, and they've played great teams that beat out. Yeah, I get it. It's Alabama. I know Nick Saban will calm them down. But at the end of the day, you still got to go out there and beat a Clemson team who the entire team's been there and their quarterback's been there, and that's so big for an offense. To have your quarterback not even be nervous, not have any stress, just he knows if he makes mistakes, his defense can get him, and that he can get himself also later on in the game. That he's gonna get his. He ain't gonna get got before he gets his.
And this is a quarterback that played last year, and he's the one seeking revenge big time. And also coaching is going to come down to it. Because even Nick Saban said during the Heisman weekend and all that, I think it's going to be Deshaun Watson because he's downright scary. Because he played against him. He knows how he is. He knows how good he is.
He compares him to the one and only Cam Newton, which Alabama played every year because of the Iron Bowl. He compares him to Cam Newton, which Cam Newton's one of the top. I haven't been around too long to see past college players, but he got to be one of the top college players to ever play. I mean, he was an unstoppable force when he was on Auburn.
And Dabo Swinney with Clemson, they exploited Ohio State's defense. They looked at the footage and all that film, they analyzed it, and they did this triple read option. It was kind of crazy, actually. It was like a pistol formation. It's like it's not shotgun. He's like kind of in the middle. They have the running back.
Very Georgia Tech.
Yeah, and they just options. And then Ohio State couldn't read them. They didn't know who had the ball. Sometimes it was Deshaun Watson. Sometimes it was Gallman. Sometimes it was their fullback right next to him. He got it sometimes. Jet sweep they did sometimes. And then the worst part was the play action fake that those got him every time. Play action down the field. So if the coaches analyze everything, which they will, these are two great coaches, it's going to be a fun game. And it's going to be down here in Tampa. Shout out Tampa.
Shout out.
It's Monday night. I'm excited. I'm going to go down to there. We're going to try to get you live.
Also, shout out to Tampa.
Live coverage.
For the Outback Bowl, whoever got their bloomin' onions today, because that's lit. Bloomin' onions. I wish every food or whatever sponsored bowl did something cool as like a winner's toy or reward or something like that. Have the PlayStation Bowl give out I don't know, a free background. Have the Fiesta Bowl give half off chips. You know what I mean? It makes you actually realize who the sponsor is.
Yeah.
The Outback Bowl is known for the bloomin' onion and coconut shrimp giveaway after the game, which is I think is pretty cool. But for the last game of the weekend, really on Monday, it was the Rose Bowl, and the Rose Bowl is considered the biggest bowl before all this crap with the college football playoffs and the BCS. Before all that, man, was that a game. USC versus Penn State. A lot of people thought Penn State should have been in the playoff because they won the Big Ten, they beat Ohio State, and in a hindsight type of deal, you look at this game, and you kind of see why people thought that. I mean, Penn State was dominating USC. And USC's a very good team. And it's essentially a home game for USC.
Yeah,
it's in California.
Yeah, it's in California.
So
Coliseum.
They're dominating them, and they're scoring a lot. And you just watch Clemson, beat Ohio State.
Yeah,
Ohio State doesn't score.
It can make you think, if Ohio State just got shut out, were they the correct third pick? Because Michigan's in there, and Michigan lost against FSU.
Which I think Michigan losing to FSU was like they shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
Because FSU is a very talented team, but they didn't play well this year.
So Michigan was there, and then Penn State or USC. So this brings in a lot of questions about if Ohio State should have been in there, or just extending the college football.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of the talk is being about right now. Because if you look at a team like Ohio State, you think they truly are deserving. But you look at conference championships and you really want to take those into account when you put these teams in the playoff. You would think they're going to have to expand because there's 5 leagues, but there's 4 spots. And so there's always going to be a league that's getting held out. And as long as Alabama's Alabama, they're not going to get held out. And whatever team beats Alabama, they're not going to get held out because there's a big SEC bias. We all get that. The Big Ten's going to have trouble not getting in if the team that didn't even win it got in this year. And then people thought, we could have had 3 Big Ten schools. And look at this, they all lost.
Yeah.
So now you have Penn State, who loses to USC. Really good game. Game-winning field goal at the end with a really dramatic comeback.
Big comeback.
Big 14-something, 21-point comeback.
17.
17
I think it was
point
49 to 35.
It was a lot. USC struggled to come back. Their quarterback, Sam Darnold, him and Lamar Jackson right now, season ending, going into next year, those are my two Heismans going into next year. I mean, Sam Darnold had 400-something yards against a really good Penn State defense. A Penn State defense that held Ohio State to 10. I mean, whew. So a good game. And you just look at it, USC, they beat Washington. They look like they deserve to be in the playoff. Penn State, they beat Ohio State. They look like they should have been in the playoff. Maybe you throw those two teams on, tack it on, and now you have, I don't know, Penn State versus USC is a quarterfinal. Then you have Ohio State, Washington as a quarterfinal.
Let's say you do a six-team playoff now. A 6-team, not a 16, a 6-team.
Not
playoff.
8 either, 6.
6, yeah, not 8. 8 is too many quarterfinal games. It's 4.
Scheduling that's going to be difficult.
It's annoying, especially during this time of the year, where it's holiday season. NFL has their holiday
Players
games.
are on break.
Yeah, so that's a nightmare. So if you want to expand in 6 is not a bad idea. You get first and second.
They get a bye.
They get a bye, just like NFL would. First and second, so you get a bye. You have third play the 6th and fourth play the 5th. So you could have had Ohio State play, was it USC or Penn State?
I think Michigan was 6.
Michigan?
But I don't think Michigan. We'll say. So Ohio State versus Michigan. The game again.
And then Washington versus who was? No. Penn State.
Penn State.
Because third, fourth, fifth.
Washington versus Penn State.
Yeah, Washington versus Penn State. So that's your quarterfinal game. Potentially now you have the whole. You can avoid the whole Michigan could have been in it. They only lost by a touchdown in overtime at Ohio State. They should have been in it. So you avoid all the should have been in it, and then you have a good games, and then you have the semifinals, and the only delay would be trying to figure out the scheduling for the quarterfinals. But it's not a bad idea. Of course, there's always going to be criticism is like, wait, but this 7 and 8 team could have been 5th and 6th. There's always going to be criticism.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get past 6, it's like, who cares about you? You don't deserve it.
Yeah, when you start getting closer to like the 10 threshold, it's like, all right, we know the number 10 team in the country is not going to beat the number 6.
Yeah. They could, but we're trying to have a good game.
And we're trying to have few games because we're not trying to have these kids play.
Julian, smart or stupid?
Alright.
Tom Brady winning MVP.
Smart. Put it in. Go to Vegas.
Already?
Take the money. Yup. Do it.
Wow.
Yup. Smart.
No. Nothing? No hesitation?
Smart.
Okay, what about Matt Ryan?
Well, obviously I think Brady's going to win. But if Brady got shot right now, assassinated. I don't know.
How about like just...
Torn, I don't know.
No, not a torn ACL. Come on.
If he got the Han Solo treatment and got put into a brick for a few years, yeah, I'd say Matt Ryan should. I think Matt Ryan is more deserving than Brady personally, but I just kind of know the way that this MVP thing goes, and I feel like Brady will get it. Although Matt Ryan's very deserving. Smart or stupid? Ronda Rousey retiring after her brutal loss.
Again. Retiring again. It's smart on her part, but I feel like she won't because I just came out of retirement and then you're going to go into it again after losing in 48 seconds. You can't come out of retirement
She didn't come out if that's the case.
For 48 seconds. You can't say, I came out of retirement and then lose in 48 seconds. So she might do a fight or two more against some no one knows who ladies. She might lose again. She would probably try to do another one just to win.
Get a W under her belt again.
And then retire. But it should be... It's smart of her to retire, but she probably won't. Julian, smart or stupid? College Football Playoff Committee extending the playoffs to a 6-team.
Yeah.
Instead of a 4.
Money, man. They want money. That's what these bowl games are. They're trying to bring money places. Just do it. Just add it. More teams will be happy. The schools will get more money. Everybody gets more money, except the fans. We're spending more money, but we want to do it. Just let us do it, please. Alejandro, smart or stupid? The Super Bowl this year, Super Bowl 51, is in the grand city of Houston, Texas.
Houston.
In the AFC, we have a team that happens to reside in that stadium.
The Texans?
The Houston Texans.
Okay.
Do you think there's any chance, any tiny little chance, that Houston will be able to play in Houston and be I think it's the first team to play a home game for the Super Bowl?
Stupid, but maybe Brock Osweiler.
I need a definitive answer.
No, it's stupid. Very stupid. Texans are garbage. Their backup quarterback was their best chance, got a concussion, and now they got to go back to their $11 million one.
Yeah.
If he's worth $11 million, he'll show up and take him to the Super Bowl.
He'll ball out.
He'll ball out.
Yards.
Yeah, 500 a game.
8
Smack Tom Brady in the face.
He'll poop on him.
But
take Giselle with him.
It's stupid. We'll wait for next year to see if there's going to be a home team.
Hopefully they don't even get him next year. Or I'm talking about Houston, by the way. Yeah, I wonder where the Super Bowl is for next year, but they probably have a better chance. Unless it's in LA, then no.
The Rams might show up.
No. No. And if it's in San Francisco,
no.
And if it's in Cleveland, why?
Miami? Dolphins? Cleveland. Oh, no.
If they put the Super Bowl
Cleveland got their first round pick.
Yeah, but they should never have a Super Bowl in their city, and then they should never be able to celebrate a Super Bowl. Sorry, Cleveland. You got the Cavs.
Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Hope you had a great new year.
Yeah, have a good 2017.
2017 is going to be our year.
Gotta be.
It's going to be our year.
Yeah.
Watch us rise. Rise with us.
Rise.
You are the keys to our success.
Just drive us.
They don't want to see us succeed.
They don't even know who they are.
But we'll make it out there.
We shall with your help.
Catch us on ESPN.
Follow us on Twitter.
2018.
Subscribe, like, do all that good YouTube stuff.
Subscribe.
Do it. Share it.
Click the link a couple times so it's like we got some more views.
Don't do that. Just listen once. Maybe twice if you didn't hear something. I know we have a little stutter. Not really. We're pretty eloquent.
We
but
try
thank you guys.
Have a good one.
We are the Spectators.
Signing off.